Yes.
So since we're the largest field here,
Yeah.
tell the promoter to throw in some 70+ races next year.
70 plus.
Yes,
eh?
yes. You got some 70s here.
Yeah.
You got more 70s than 60s.
Okay, good race, guys.
Okay, safe one, guys. Thank you.
All right, good enough. Thank you.
We actually had 5 70+s in a field of 16. Still, with people aging up, there'll be more 70+s next year, so we should have 70+ races. Now, maybe not necessarily as a separate race, but in combination with the 65s, the 65/70s. We were the only race with double digits in registrations. Hey, cycling community, this is Steve, Grusis the Cycling Greek. Actually, with one guy not showing up, we had a field of 15, and of those 15, we had 4 teams with more than one member in it. 3 of those teams were 2-man teams. That was Victory Velo, Monterey, and Pedal Project. Body Concepts had 6. That meant there were 3 solo riders, including me. While I was pretty familiar with the riders on Monterey, Pedal Project, and Body Concepts, I wasn't familiar with Victory Velo. In fact, I didn't even realize that they had a team here. I thought they just had one individual until I looked at the results when I was putting this video together. I figured this race would end in a breakaway, or at least a breakaway with me in it. That was my plan. This course was the flattest road race that I've done this year. It had 3 18-mile laps, and it finished on a small climb. Now, the total elevation gain for this course was 873 feet. And so if you take away maybe 100, 150 feet for that last climb, you take away that feed zone hill, which is more of a low-grade kind of climb, you're flat. We're about 1.5 miles into this race, and we're right now kind of rolling, talking, some of us, and a couple of Body Concepts are just kind of floating off the front. I unfortunately had this mindset that any break that starts and I'm not going after it, that's the break that's going to last to the finish. I jump and position myself behind these guys and then take a look around and see what the pack is doing, and the pack is not going to let us go, so I'm just sitting here. Before the race started, when I was warming up, I went and talked to a number of the teams, a number of the people on the teams, to get an idea of how they're going to approach the race. I gave them my thoughts on which teams were likely to sit in and which teams were likely to initiate a break. I also let them know that I was a willing participant. After chatting at the front a bit with Body Concepts Motconidadis, I noticed that Boyd Tarrant from Pedal Projects rolled up on my flank. With a few bike links to the pack, I figured this is a good time for a test. Well, let's see what happens. Come on. Come on. Well, I start to surge. Boyd puts in a huge jump, goes around me, and now I have to put in even more power just to get on his wheel. I figured that Body Concepts would be a team that would initiate breaks and also do counterattacks. I figured that Pedal Project would do the same thing. Monterey was another story. I didn't think they would initiate any attacks or do any counters, really. Both of their team members are very strong sprinters. While either of them would be very strong brake mates, they have no problem just waiting for the finish. While it looks like we have a very good gap, the problem is that that gap is decreasing. The pack is not going to let us go. As they roll up, I called Boyd off. They're coming up. With just a little over 2 miles into this race, this foreshadowed what was to come. About 30 seconds later, while the pack, including me, was catching our breath a bit, Boyd's teammate Jim Torrance puts in an attack. No way I'm jumping after that one. I'm going to get on somebody's wheel. It's the other team's responsibility. So as they come by, I'm looking for a wheel to jump on, and the guy next to me, that's Tom, eventually when he goes past me, I like being behind big guys. And Tom's a big guy. Jim right now has a nice gap, and he's a very strong guy. He of course realizes he can't solo for 52 miles. He is looking for one of 2 things. Primarily he wants to cause other teams, especially their leaders, to do work, as he is working for his teammate Boyd. Another possibility is that he can have other riders join him, and that way that'll put more stress on the other teams chasing. Now what I'm looking for is a little bit different. I'm looking for that right combination that'll stay away. And with the Monterey that's bridging up to Body Concepts and Pedal Project, that's why I jumped on. If you turn your attention to the rear camera in the upper right hand corner, you'll notice that's a Body Concepts that's pulled the pack up to us. And there's a Body Concepts in this break that was forming. You may be thinking, why is that guy pulling the pack up to a break that has this teammate in it? It may be because of Monterey's Tom McCullough. He's a strong sprinter, and the Body Concepts rider, he may not be. It more than likely was that it was not a good combination for them. Now here is what I call one of those things. It could be that I'm making a tactical maneuver. It could be that I'm a moth to a flame. With now just 3¼ miles into this race, the pack is maybe tired of chasing. That's what I'm thinking. So I put a little power in. I'm rolling. I didn't attack. I'm just rolling off the front. So I just keep rolling, and then when I cross the bridge and look back, shit. That's right. I have a sizable gap. I have 51 miles to go, and I'm by myself. In for a penny, in for a pound, I often say. So the best thing that can happen, the best situation, is that I get a small group that bridges up to me that has the right combination in it.
Yeah. No, that
'cause
first
people
attack
tired.
you did, you had over 30 seconds at one point.
Yeah.
I kind of rode off the front, and as soon as I did, I said, oh shit. Because, you know,
Only
I don't have any
44 miles
teammates.
to go.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
But Tom McCullough, myself, and somebody else, we were bridging up to you, and we had a gap behind us, but I guess it wasn't a big enough gap. Because it would have been really good if we had
that would have been cool.
the four of us. We probably would have. Well, I don't know if we would have stayed away the whole way, but it would have been really tough because there would have been no teams to chase. Yeah.
Except
Body concepts,
yes.
but I don't know who the other person was with our. I don't know if it was. I can't remember if it was a body concepts person or not.
Oh, okay. I was away for a little over 14 minutes, and I actually shut it down at about 13½ minutes when I saw that they were coming up, and you know, that was it. My FTP, I estimate, is around 260, 265. I have no idea really what exactly is. I haven't done an FTP test in years. I average for that 13½ minutes 250 watts. Granted, we're a bunch of old guys racing, but this would have been the perfect point for someone to attack. It was just a little while later that a couple of body concepts, and the only woman in our race from another category when they combined us is from Chico. She's from Chico Cycling, and she's either Ambrosia or Karen, just kind of rolled off the front. I saw that, and again, like I was mentioning earlier, I'm always afraid that the break that gets away that I'm not going after is the one that's going to stay away. Once a Victory Velo jumped after them, then other people started jumping after that rider, and we all got pulled back up. After just a few miles of rolling, I see Monterey's Tim McCullough move to the front as if he's going to attack. Pedal Project's Jim Torrance gets right on his wheel. Tom's teammate Tim also comes by. I get on his wheel. I don't know if this was meant to be an attack or just a surge to make people hurt, but basically, he had everyone lined out. Now, ordinarily, when he slows down, this would be the point where his teammate Tim would attack, but they are not an attacking team. Or rather, Tim's not an attacking type of guy. Reason being, in his back pocket, he has a very strong sprint. When he finally pulls off, so does Body Concepts' Gary Nyman, who's been on his wheel. That leaves Jim Torrance from Pedal Projects in the front. While Jim ramped it up to 30, those other two that were going back confused the pack back there, and they thought everything was slowing down, so they had a bit of a gap created. After Jim rolls off and gets on my wheel, we slow down a bit, the pack comes up, and we're countered by Kevin Willits of Body Concepts. In spite of his strong sprint, he's a good one having a break. DMR's Brian Patterson sees this, bridges up to him. We have Body Concepts, for whatever reason, goes up to them, and so I'm following his wheel. Then there is another counter from another Body Concepts, Matt Peterson. He's a good one having a break. I jump on his wheel, and now we have a bit of a gap. A nice gap. We are also joined by a good friend of mine and a former teammate, breakaway specialist Scott Hollander. And now that I can see our number, we have Cat 2 Karen Edwards. We make a good run at it, but no avail. We're caught. So the problem is that we just don't have the right combination. I figure at a minimum we need a Body Concepts and a Pedal Project. I'm estimating that the probability of having a Monterey in a break is close to nil. Once I saw the pack was on us, I called Scott off. If you guys are inclined for a break, I think the only way we can make a break work is having one of each of the teams in there. Are you up for that?
Not on this lap, maybe the next one.
Oh, I was thinking this lap. Okay. Well, because people may be a little tired, hopefully.
Oh, I'm exhausted.
Oh,
I can't even jerk,
okay.
pedal to it.
And Tom wasn't the only person I was talking to. I've jumped to about a mile before the end of the first lap, but we're still in the first lap. Lots of action. So if you look up ahead, you'll see there's a Body Concepts up there. I don't know who it is, but from what I'm told, that is a long distance kind of rider. so he can just maintain that pace out there. It's too far for me to jump after him, especially when there's other teams here where it's their responsibility. So I'm just hanging back and I'm trying to be patient. I've done a lot of stuff and I'm still feeling strong. I'm figuring that there's some tired people out there, and that after all the action that we had in the first lap, that maybe they will dial it back in the second lap and then go for it on the third lap. I'm thinking if I can try to get away with a good group on that second lap, that's going to be the money move. We finally crossed over into the second lap. Gary Nyman from Body Concepts is still out there. Monterey's Tim Davis was at the front pulling, and eventually no one's pulling around him, so he starts to slow, then everyone starts to slow. At that point, Scott Hollander goes off the front, and I get right on his wheel because he's a great person to have in a breakaway. The pack, upon seeing this, elects not to slow down anymore and starts chasing after us. About the same time the pack catches us, Scott has pulled Gary back in. We are immediately countered by Body Concepts' Kevin Willits. That's how you do it. Scott jumps, then I jump. A lot of action, but nothing comes of it. We are now about 5.5 miles into the second lap. I am looking for opportunities to get away with the right group. I'm not sure which one, but a Body Concepts kind of rolls off the front. All of a sudden, DMR's Brian Patterson jumps after him, and Karen jumps on Brian's wheel to get a tow. While obviously I love brakes, this is not a good combination. So they're not all the teams represented. I have a Pedal Projects in front of me, and I have a Monterey in front of me, so I'm just following them. All of a sudden, it's Victory Velo that goes to the front to chase after these guys. Tim gets on their wheel. I was surprised that Jim from Pedal Projects didn't get on his wheel, so I'm still behind Jim. So now as some more riders come up, Jim starts to pick up his speed, so I'm staying on his wheel to just save some energy. So now we have a split in the field, and I'm in the back split, but I'm not that worried because I have some strong people in this group, so I'm just following wheels to get back to get reconnected. After we do, and we're together for a bit, the original three make another go at it. Again, with only one of the teams represented, I'm not that worried about it, so I'm just following wheels. It's only when I see Pedal Project's Boyd Torrin go that I do get worried. I jump on his wheel. And doing it this time is no easy feat. Finally get on his wheel, and he pulls me up to the other three. The rest of the pack filters back up to us subsequently. For the moment, there's a bit of a lull as we all go Grupo Compacto. All of a sudden, Scott Hollander, he takes off. DMR's Brian Patterson's at the front. He's a solo rider. He's not inclined to chase. As Matt Peters from Body Concepts moves to the front, his teammate Kevin Willits attacks. While this is not the perfect breakaway combination, it could be if Pedal Projects was there, which is why I jumped on Kevin's wheel. Kevin slows, I continue through. I power past Scott to show my commitment. I look back and they're all lined out and close. So I again call Scott off. For the moment, there seems to be a lull in the action. I'm thinking that we're maybe not going to have that right combination. All of a sudden, Matt Peters from Body Concepts attacks. Tim Davis goes with him. That's two of the three, so I'm jumping right on their wheel. Of course, everyone else jumps on my wheel. Figuring out to make my own opportunity, I take off. But that doesn't last too long. So now I'm getting on a wheel and getting my breath back. After a 3-minute lull, Pedal Project's Jim Torrance attacks. This causes consternation in the field. We're all spread out. We're not only lined out, but we're spread out. Jim is going strong. Victory Velo's Mark Perry and Body Concepts' Kevin Willits back off from the chase. Monterey's Tim Davis pulls through and continues the chase. Being a solo rider, I'm not chasing. I am going to jump like hell to get on the wheels of those who are. Victory Velo is now making a bid to jump across. With Tim still at the front pulling, his teammate Tom jumps across to Victory Velo, goes past him, and now is making his own bid to get across. Now that I'm looking at pictures and I remember, there are actually 3 riders up there. One from Pedal Projects, one from Body Concepts. And now you have Monterey's Tom McCullough just about to join him. Now, I don't know why Tim's chasing after him, but I'm sure glad he is because I'm on his wheel and I'm barely on his wheel. If Tim had pulled off and let his teammate get up there, there's no way that I could have gotten up there. We are now a little over halfway into the second lap. And here I was previously thinking that the pack was going to take the second lap a little slower. A couple of moments after we bunch up, Scott Hollander takes off again. Kevin Willits goes after him, and I'm not letting these guys go. Everyone's on my wheel. The original 3 that were in that previous breakaway were Pedal Project's Jim Torrance, Gary Neiman from Body Concepts, and Chico Cycling's Karen Edwards. After a couple-minute lull, I take off. I figure there's got to be some tired people here, and I'm hoping to take advantage of that. Should I have been more patient? Well, if the right combination bridges up to me, then no. But probability says yes. I can tell I'm not as strong as when I did this on the first lap, but then again, neither are the others. A few minutes later, DMR's Brian Patterson bridges up to me. Unfortunately, he's another solo rider. It took him a bit to convince him to work with me because why would he want to bridge all this way, get a good gap, and then just sit on my wheel? Eventually we began working together, but we really needed more commitment and speed to stay away from these guys. Now, if we can only get a Body Concepts and Pedal Project to join us, then maybe we'd have a chance. As it turns out, I was out there for about 7 or 8 minutes before we were reabsorbed back into the pack. Not to let people ever rest, my buddy Scott puts in a counterattack. When Tim jumps after him, I'm not motivated to jump onto Tim. I need to see a better probability that any type of brake is going to work. When Body Concepts Kevin goes across, then I start to get motivated. And then when I see Monterey's Tom McCullough, now I'm committed. I've now jumped ahead about 6 miles, and most of those miles have been pretty tame. Now, we did have one piece of action, and that's again my buddy Scott Hollander. He's broken away from the pack some time ago, and he's got a big gap. We are now approaching the feed zone hill. Something's telling me that Pedal Project's Boyd Tarrant is going to attack in order to bridge up to Scott. So I'm staying right by Boyd. When he goes, I go. There he goes, and there I go. I'm standing and I'm pounding it, and almost immediately something's going on with my front wheel. It's not tracking straight. It turns out I have a flat. I'm down to about 10 or 15 pounds. I can sit and pound it, but that's a lot of frictional force I have to overcome. So, begrudgingly, that's the end of my race. As it turns out, Boyd made it up to Scott. He was a bit gassed when he got there, so by the time he was able to recover, the balance of the pack also made it. Well, the balance minus me. So, how did this race finish? Well, let's listen.
I took a hard pull after Boyd, I think, was at the front. And then Tom McCullough came around and he got a gap and he stayed away the rest of the way.
Yeah,
I mean, he was always in sight, but yeah.
Winning by 10 feet, I heard.
More than that, wasn't it?
That's all it was.
Really? 10 feet?
Another 100 feet and I would have had him.
No kidding.
He was coming back so fast.
No shit.
I thought, no, I'm not going to get him. Well, wait a minute, maybe I am.
Yeah,
No,
you were
yes,
Mr.
no, yes, no.
Yeah, you were Mr. Poker out there today. He raced a really good race because he was covering the attacks, but then he wasn't doing that much work. And I was shocked to see that you were shooting off the front there at the end for the finish.
Oh, so you definitely got one.
That was good. That was really good, especially ahead of Tim Davis. That was what I really didn't
I was
expect.
surprised. I thought he would hang longer than that.
Exactly.
He was doing a little work.
He was, yeah. I mean, that was.
He came in the second lap.
He was to make Tim and Tom work as much as possible because I knew they were both strong finishers, right? So.
Well, that's it. Last road race of the season. I hope you enjoyed this video and you got something out of it. As always, remember, comment, like, subscribe. The Cycling Greek. Well, at least I can still ride the flat. It's sealed up a bit, but I can't race it. Not when they surge. It's been a good day, except for this part. Flat. I'm still heading to the finish, and my group was split apart apparently as they're heading on back, and everybody that I pass in my category, I yell flat. Gotta let everybody know. Since you asked, I had a flat. Okay.
Thank you.
Oh man, thank you for being out here. It was a good race until the flat. It was a good race. Thanks.
It's nice to keep going after the flat.
Yes, true. That's true.